talk about the All-NBA first team. I would like to read it to you. It includes Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic, Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, our boy.
SGA.
That's right.
Shai Gilgeous.
Shai. Sorry. Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo. And as you let leak on our show yesterday, Boston Celtics forward Jason Tatum.
JT.
Jimmy, before I ask you if they got it right, I want to tell you something here. So they changed the rules. I don't know if you knew that. Mm-hmm. And the rules are that players like Embiid and Donovan Mitchell and Julius Randle and Jimmy Butler, you don't see them on here, right? Where are those? Some of those guys were on the team last year and they had good seasons. Well, they made a new rule that you're not eligible unless you play at least 65 games. You cannot win any of the top awards unless you play at least 65 games. So because of that, you're missing out on Embiid and a Donovan Mitchell. So did they get it right? Is this the right five? Doncic, SGA, Giannis, Tatum. Is that it? Is that the right five?
Yes, they got it right. That's probably the best five. And again, when you do these types of lists, it's subjective. There are other players who are
Jaylen Brown. You don't think he was deserving?
Correct. Well, that's what I was getting at. Like even like JT's teammate Jaylen Brown deserves some looks. I mean, he's just as important as JT on the other side, on the other wing. Even playing, in my opinion, 2 ways better than JT, playing defense and locking up the opposing offensive guy usually. So it's subjective. Typically, it might come down to a popularity or who's more popular. When like if you compare him Jaylen Brown to JT, although they're teammates. But I think they got it right, and it's such an honor to be first team all NBA because it's such a hard thing to get.
It's an incredible deal because there are so many good individual players in the NBA, and it's not 2 teams, it's 1 team. It's essentially the top 5 players. It's incredibly prestigious. It's really awesome. It's tough. And I think saying you got to play 65 games makes it fair.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that circumvents the issue that the fans were having, and some of like former players, having that, guys are getting accolades. They're not really, playing. They're low managing and sitting down.
Jimmy, where I got one. I think they got it right, but I got one that I do think is missing, and I might have put him over Jason Tatum. And that's Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks.
Hey, my guy.
I mean, that
JB. They call him Big Body Brunson.
Yeah.
And that's like my surrogate son. And I did mention about MVPs, him being my dark horse. Yep. Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, and SGA were my 3 dark horse picks.
Now, Jimmy, another one that I'll point out on this list that got quote unquote snubbed from this injury rule is our own Prestonwood Christian Academy, Julius Randle, recently inducted into the Prestonwood Hall of Fame. First person to have their jersey retired this past year. See, if he wasn't injured, he wouldn't have been able to come to the jersey retirement. So there was